welcome to the Committed Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jody, and each week we're going to be diving in deep, covering all things that help you step up your game, master your mindset, and help you commit to creating the life you desire. So if you're ready for that, let's get started. Well, hello, my beautiful people. As always, I just really like to start by just thanking you guys from the bottom of my heart for tuning in and sharing your time with me. I know time is so precious. So thank you for joining me on this episode and every other episode that you tune in to with me. All right. Now, with that being said, I really want to talk about this topic that I think all of us are going to benefit from. And it's really about why it's so important to maintain your reputation and your name. Now, why is this so important? Because I think everyone needs to understand that the one thing that you never want to tarnish is your name and your reputation. It follows us wherever we go. And once we do tarnish it, shit is hard as hell to get back into good graces. So let's hammer down on this. I think these little examples I'm going to give you, you'll be able to relate, because I'm sure you believe you are Mr. or Miss Perfect, angel over your head. I think the same thing about myself. But when I point out these little things, you might see that there could be little adjustments that you could make, because people, they really perceive us and create an identity about us. And it all comes from the actions, the words, and the energy we put off to others. So there really is a handful of different factors that all either build up or destruct our name and our reputation. And I want to just make sure that we cover all of that today, so you can start paying attention to how you're building up or destructing yourself, and how others around you might be as well. So you can, really take like a friend and business partner inventory and decide, is this person really someone that I want to have in my life? They might seem great right now, but long term, is that long-term growth? Am I investing my time in this person? So little cues to pay attention to. And you guys, all of this circles back to both business and personal life, which is exactly what I like to give you tools on, because I just really believe we can't become our best self in business if we don't focus on bettering ourselves as a human being. So let's go ahead and jump in. All right. First little thing of a have you ever. No, we're not playing that game. What is that called? Like 10 fingers? 10 fingers. I think that's it. It's not 10 fingers, but it's close. All right. Have you ever talked shit about a person? I can guarantee we're all guilty of this at some point in time or another, probably more often than not. And talking shit about someone might be fun in the moment, and it stimulates conversation and people are laughing and whatnot. But what it's really doing is it's creating bad juju. Seriously, think about it. If the person you were talking shit about was in the room and heard it, how would you feel? You'd either be embarrassed, you'd feel guilty, you'd become defensive, you would look for an excuse to put blame on someone else so you still look good in their eyes. Like, there's a mixture of ways people would react to that if they talk shit about the person and the person heard it. And, here's the thing. If you would feel any negative reaction to someone hearing what you're saying about them, then you probably shouldn't be saying it. And here's the other thing. What makes the person you're talking to think that you wouldn't do the same thing to them? Seriously, if you're willing to talk shit about someone else, why wouldn't you be willing to talk shit about the person you're talking to when they do something that doesn't seem good enough in your eyes, or something that should be judged? Yeah, I know. It's serious stuff right here. So what I want you to do is instead stick with the facts about people. Make choose positive, non-judgmental words and just ditch the shit talking. It might seem like it's not as fun. I know a lot of people get a rise out of it, but you know what? It ain't going to work out for you in the end, because really, you guys, everyone is going through something, and you've never spent a day in their shoes to know why they've made the decisions that they have. So why should you be talking shit about it? Like, it's not your thing to do. You're not there to be the judge police at all. So instead, keep your name and your reputation clean by just avoiding shit talking altogether. Even if the other person will never hear it, someone heard it, and someone is going to make a judgment on the kind of person you are and how much they trust you, how much they want to do business with you, and if they want to surround themselves around you. And this goes vice versa. If you are already against shit talking, or you're like, you know what, I'm going to take a stand today, I'm going to start paying attention to this. Well, start paying attention to the other people that are doing it. Because if they're willing to do it, they're willing to do it about you. I guarantee that. And so it's really important to become an example of the kind of person that is trustworthy, that has your back, that would never judge you for your flaws, would never tell you that you're wrong for this and why you're wrong. Just be a kind, compassionate human being, and find other things that you can talk about that give you laughter, that bring you joy, that are stimulating. Because shit talking, it's just a mask for something that's going on deeper inside you. Okay, next. Have you ever gossiped or got yourself involved in gossip? So gossip and shit talking, they really kind of walk a fine line with each other. Yes, I know. But getting involved in gossip, especially when you don't have the facts, is so toxic. And it's super toxic to your mind. It sucks your precious energy. And it really puts you in a vibrational state that isn't abundant. And because, when you're gossiping and you're, really partaking in that, you suck energy. You suck the good energy out of your vibration. And I'm really big in energy, and you might not think it's a thing, but trust me, it is. Like attracts like. And when you're involved in that stuff, it ain't good. I'll tell you that. You might not see the immediate results, but long term, that will always show up. If you wonder why things aren't going well for you, why people aren't responding to you, well, look in what you see yourself getting involved in. And here's a good analogy. The movie Mean Girls. If you've ever seen the movie, you know that people don't really like them because they're just mean. And gossiping is just mean. People, they'll put a guard up to you, and, they are walking on eggshells. They worry about, they worry about being good enough for you. They worry about being judged by you. And like, how fun is that when people are scared of you and they don't want to even do anything. They'd so much rather leave the vicinity and hide from you than they would actually get to be them real selves around you, because they might be too scared that you're just going to gossip about them. They don't want to do anything in your vicinity, or they think they have to conform to your ways to be liked by you, or else you will gossip about them. And that just, does that make you feel bad thinking about that? That makes me feel bad thinking about that. And really, partaking in gossip can just often mean you have your own security that you're trying to hide and redirect it on someone else. But here's the thing, is nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. So instead of pointing out what someone else is doing and what you think that they're doing and getting involved in the gossip, just respectfully exit yourself from the conversation or switch topics. If you've got a group of people that are gossiping, and this has happened to me when I was around a lot of girls, basically is where this always happens, is if I hear gossip, I just turn around and walk out. I don't want to get involved in it. I don't want to hear about it. It does nothing good for me. And it's just like, it sucks. I'm like, oh, that's great. That's the highlight of your days, talking about someone else's life that you actually don't know. Oh, and the other thing you can do, like I said, is switch topics. So if you're involved in the one-on-one conversation and someone's gossiping, all you really have to do is just change the topic and just say, you know what, I don't know enough about that to just make any comment on it. But hey, you were talking about XYZ, how's that going? Change the topic. Seriously. If you have no interest in it, change the frickin' topic. And it makes a world of a difference when people see that you're not into the drama. And it also helps you identify who is into the drama and who could be toxic for you to spend too much time around. So again, just avoid the gossip. It does nobody any good. And it never will. All right, our next, have you ever? What a fun game, right? Yes. We don't have to, it's like, have you ever for adults? I know, sometimes I amaze you guys with my random thinkings. We're just going to go with it. Okay, next one. Have you ever made fun of a random person because you thought that maybe their outfit was funny, or because they're overweight, or whatever reason it is? I think we've all been guilty of this at some point in time, and it's super easy to do. I mean, if you're walking down the street and you see something that is completely different from you and what you think is normal, you're going to usually say something because it's just so different from your norm. But here's the thing. What if that was your child you were making fun of? Would you still do it? I guarantee you wouldn't. You would love them unconditionally, and you would try to help them do the things to build their confidence. You guys, you got to realize everyone is broken. Some have been through more shit than others. Some are struggling financially. Some are struggling mentally. Some are trying to figure out who they are. Everyone's just trying to do the best that they can. And making fun of people we don't know, it just hurts us in the end and shows us that, yet again, we have some kind of insecurity. If we feel the need to do it constantly to self-soothe, to make ourselves look better in our own eyes or someone else's eyes, or to just make conversation, whatever the reason is, I challenge you to pay attention to it and think of other human beings that you want to point something out about, and think of them as your old child or someone very close to you, and instead just send them love and compassion. And if you're in a situation where someone else is making fun of another, you can really nip this stuff in the bud by saying things along the line of, you know what, I don't know, but yes, that's different. I'm sure that they have a great personality. I'm sure they're going through something tough. I feel bad for them in a way. I just really hope that they're okay. Or, I'm sure there's a reason why, but you know what? It's not for us to judge. If you would never want to be made fun of, then why do it to someone else? It's really, really, really helpful when you put things into perspective before you do it without thinking. And that one's just like, that one makes me want to kind of cry a little bit because I see it happen so much. And yes, I'm also guilty of it. I've done it, and I probably still do it sometimes without knowing it. But really putting it into perspective that way is just kind of like a wow factor in the fact of, you know what, we're all human beings with a heartbeat, and there's never a reason to point fingers at someone else and say that what they're doing is wrong, because in their eyes, it's right. It's the best they can do. It's what works for them. So we don't need to be making any, validation on why they're wrong or why that's different and why it's not right and why it's funny. They are who they are. Just let them be. Move on. Find something else to talk about. Okay, and our last have you ever. So this is really going to really kind of go towards people in network marketing, personal training, or anyone who's in endeavor, basically where you're working directly with clients. This is who this one kind of targets, but it still targets everyone. Have you ever written someone off because they stopped using your service or products? Taking things personally is seriously a huge no-no, guys. You'll push people away from you just as fast as if you had the coronavirus. Yeah, I know. Was that too soon? Sorry if it was. I'm really sorry if it was. But seriously though, like if you had something that people were going to go running from, like this is like the same thing. Like when you take things seriously, people are like, oh, okay, that's freaking drama. I'm out. Taking things personally means you think the world revolves around you and everyone's decisions are made because of you and not because of their own personal life. Well, yes, I will agree. Our own world revolves around us. Hey, I make decisions based on the world revolving around Jody because from where I stand, from my perspective, the world revolves around me. But everyone else is standing in that same perspective. The world revolves around them. And, people make decisions based on what is best for them and their family and their needs, just like you do. So instead, when someone stops, utilizing what it is that you offer, all you got to do is wish them the best and let them know that you're always in their corner. Show you still care by checking in on them and just maintaining a genuine friendship and just showing that you care. That's really it. You never know when someone will be ready again, and you never know when things will switch in your life and you'll have something new to offer them. Maintaining good relationships will always, always, always work in your favor when you don't take things personal. And not to mention how it works for yourself. You'll lower stress, unnecessary drama, negative feelings from your life, like that right there. Hi, that's a win. Living in a more peaceful state, not being attached to other people's decisions, and just being able to enjoy life more. Hell yeah. I don't know who doesn't want that. So this also works towards personal life when we don't take things personal. Let's say your significant other said something like they disagreed with you and you're taking it personal, or they said something that you wanted them to answer it this way, but they answered it that way and you're taking it personal, or they did this, they wanted to make plans with their friends, but you wanted them to make plans with you and now you're upset about it. Like, you guys, there's so many ways we take things personal. And seriously, it is just like, wow. For the receiving end, I know when people take things personal, I'm just like, okay, that's enough of that. I'm just going to exit this because I don't want to get in a fight. I don't want drama. I don't need this because it's just really, there's nothing to take personal. I didn't say it to offend you. Nobody usually says stuff to offend others. So just realize that it's not about you. Other people's decisions aren't out to get you. My decisions, if it offends you, I was never trying to offend you. So don't take it personal. There's a great book, actually. Don Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements. Killer book. Assuming is one of those things in there. I really recommend people pick it up. So good. Okay, so to sum it all up, the law of attraction is always happening. Whatever you're putting out to the world, it always comes back to you. So make it something that you want. Keep it positive. Keep it abundant. Be someone you'd want to be around. Be someone that, you have only great things to speak about. And when you do, speak as if the person was standing right in front of you. It just is like, it's everything when we pay attention to our reputation and our words and our name. Because you know what? Again, once we tarnish it, we can't get it back. And we'll be scraping at the mercy of someone else to try to get them to listen, to try to get them to want to be around us, to try to put our name back in good graces. And it all starts with the decisions that you choose to make. So I just encourage you to choose wisely before you speak about anybody and their life. And that right there, my friends, is all I got for today. So I really hope that was helpful for you. And if it was, please let me know. Send me a DM. If you have my number, you can text me. That's fine too. But I love it when you guys are, sending a DM to me. If you want, screenshot it that you're listening to the episode and let me know. I've got some freebies for you too when you leave a review. So don't forget that. And if you haven't yet, I would love if you could subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. It only helps me get this into the ears of more and more people so that I can hope to make as big of a difference in others' lives as possible. So with that being said, just like I always say, we've only got one life to live. So make it amazing. Until the next time, much love to you.